Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. Today, I just want to focus in on a bit more of a viewer requested video, looking back at kind of an archived comment within a post thread on Facebook, which was supposedly deleted or closed down by Caleb Newton or so. There's a reason for why, who knows. I just want to read one of the particular comments that was said, and I think it might be from the party girl Avery Comb. I'll show you it on screen anyway, and then we'll see directly from the horse's mouth. But in terms of what's said, could be interpreted in a bit of a questionable, dodgy way, depending if it's directed at the party itself and who attended it or not. There's no harm in taking a look. It's a viewer requested video, at least that I can do. And furthermore, if the patterns and themes are in recent time of looking back on Alicia Lee or Caden Pressey before the case, let's just put it that way, and if it means looking at Justin Roy as well and previous conversations, or making it seem like certain conversations are from Justin, but there might not be enough evidence to back it up because there's no username or profile picture point of view within the screenshot, well, it's fair that we do it from another perspective too. You get what I'm saying? I directly may have not gone all in on other people's past or acknowledged it just yet. But with the theme of what's going on in recent time, there's a lot of retrospective action going on. And why would people retrospectively be doing it now? What, because people know that things aren't going forwards anymore, so all you can do is look back on the past and try and link events, personality and behaviour with the case because people tied up within the case just so happen to have a dark past, supposedly. And if someone's got a dark past, they're seen as what, more likely to be the murderer of Noah Presgrove. See, this is what's interesting. And I know people on the sideline can tell me how to think or what I should be saying, but put that aside, the levels of skepticism or the levels of attack and questioning and going deep on someone or some people is the aim because you want them to be responsible for Noah's death? Is it because you feel like they could be responsible for Noah Presgrove's death? Or just because you've got other grudges with them? Is it all driven and motivated for Noah, or is it other unnecessary stuff? That's what I want to get at. Because depending how you interpret it, the current theme and patterns are in this case. From certain areas, people's points of views are shifting towards Caden Pressey being the one responsible for Noah's death. That's not coming from me. That's not my opinion. That's not my thoughts. But I've seen what other people have been saying and how it's coming around in recent time. Maybe at some point we'll try and get to it to understand. But I would like to take a different approach and view today in regards to other people because it might have been neglected. And even in regards to the supposed argument outside with the sisters, that's another event that can be looked over once again. And I will try and make notes on a pad as video ideas to remind myself, because been a lot to look at. Videos have been a lot longer in recent time, even though I'm trying not to, but there's just a lot at hand to look at. I do feel like there's a slight problem in which things from the past may be brought up now, whether it was resolved or not in between. For someone like me who wasn't around since day one, me seeing it for the very first time, and if certain post comments don't have a date on an exact time, it's hard to know when it happened, when it was said. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you check for inconsistencies, or they do pop up with time. People will highlight the inconsistencies by saying, well, look what this individual said way back then, and I see it for the very first time now, and it's new to me. So everything that I've learned beforehand, everything that I thought was somewhat stable, tables turned upside down and it's gone just a bit all over the place. As one side effect. See, in the Dylan Rounds case, I started that off much earlier, so I learned as I went along. So then when things were brought up from the past, I already knew about it, but I also knew of the recent updates and information which I could compare, contrast, and eliminate certain points or debunk some things. It's harder to do in this case because there's a lot more going on, and I wasn't around at the beginning. So when things are brought up from the past and when looking back at the past, it'll be new to me, but it won't be for other people. So it can add a level of confusion. See, with certain aspects, with Caden's arrival and onwards, I was around for that. So that's a good thing, but other stuff before it just wasn't present. So I just wanted to give you a heads up there in regards to a video like today and in the future as well. And of course, welcome to anyone that's currently here watching this live premiere. Share your thoughts, opinions and reactions in the live chat box, which will be located on the right hand side of the screen. And after watching the video, if you do want to drop a comment, share your thoughts, if you've got any questions, whatever it is, let me know down below under this video. I can always respond back. I was supposed to try and reply to comments yesterday, but as you saw, the video was getting long and it would have taken longer to upload. There would have been a chance it might have not been coming out tomorrow. Yesterday, it would have come out today. So I just had to be cautious of timing. But that aside, if you are interested in videos like that and previous ones, and if you missed out, don't worry, top right corner, I symbol, click up there. You find the drop down menu box with the full playlist and some loose videos too. Furthermore, if you do want to support this channel in a more practical and anonymous way, down below in the comment section, there'll be a pinned message by me with additional links, one of which PayPal link. With that all being said, the order of how we'll do things today is straight up get into the Facebook comment, the archived one, try and understand the significance of it, apply it if necessary, and then head on over to my previous video and acknowledge what people have had to say. Let's begin. Well, here we are. You can see it on screen. Something to do with your comment on Caleb's post on Facebook, and supposedly Caleb's post was closed down or deleted at some point in the past. I know it says on here some comments were 1 day ago, 33 minutes ago, but that's not recent. Unfortunately, you can't see the actual date of the post, but it's supposedly in the past, okay? And in terms of trying to understand what's on here, Jasmine Kelly, justice for Noah, disgusting, your son gets to enjoy food knowing exactly what's happened to Noah. Right, so Jasmine here is kind of attacking Jack Newton, Caleb Newton, saying it's disgusting how your son Jack can continue on enjoying life knowing what happened to Noah but not reaching out or admitting anything. And Avery Comb seems to respond to Jasmine by saying, yeah, and father and son both sleep with Combs' girls. It depends how you interpret it, of course. Do we have anything else going on here? So you could say, why is it like duplicated on screen? Why is there two lots? To be honest, I don't really know, to be honest. But if I had to give you my honest thoughts here, first of all, Avery Combs is the birthday girl at the time of the party, you know, the host of the party. But that could apply to Carter as well and Logan since they lived there. But, you know, would it matter much to Avery if Caleb and Jack were sleeping with Comb girls? Well, it would be a bit of an issue, you could say, to an extent. I know people could say, well, it's disgusting, it's messed up, it's not right. But, you know, there is a certain tone behind this, and I'll get to it shortly. But to understand it from the party point of view, around this time or before, you would have had claims made that Noah Presgrove was at the party, he walked into one of the girls' bedrooms, walked in and saw something he wasn't supposed to. Some kind of oral activity, which people claimed was between Avery, birthday girl, and Caleb Newton. At the end of the day, people could jump in and say, oh, that's creepy, that's you know, I'm not going to say the words because people will twist it, but, you know, certain damaging lines aimed towards the likes of Caleb Newton. But, you know, the same's happened in recent time with damaging labels aimed and applied to Justin Roy, just for referencing names of party goers and questioning along the way. What I'm trying to get is, in the Caleb situation, if anything did happen at the party, any dodgy activity, Avery, 22 at the time, age of an adult, no laws broken whatsoever. Caleb at the time, much older, of course. If it did happen, not saying that anything did, but if anything did, yes, it would be considered cheating. But it's not like any crimes committed there. So why would people be jumping in on that supposed event? Why would it be such a big deal if it happened at the party if no crimes were broken? Oh, because people were applying it to the possibility that Noah was silenced in the process. We may be able to apply it to the maps if needed. As for son, Jack obviously with Carter at the time, nothing odd really going on there. But to be honest, what I would say is Avery Combs was being sarcastic here. Depends how you read it, of course. Jasmine saying, oh, it's disgusting that your son gets to enjoy food knowing exactly what happened to Noah. And then Avery's like, yeah, and father and son both sleep with Combs girls. The way it's said so casually, being thrown out there, which doesn't have a direct link or response to what Jasmine was getting at, but it was as if Avery was giving a sarcastic response at the time to highlight how silly Jasmine's comment supposedly was in Avery's mindset. Does that make sense to people? Hopefully. Let's just go on to the map right now. If I was to apply that original claim and theory what people had onto the maps to highlight, whether it sounds ridiculous, far-fetched or not, might as well do it in the process. The other thing I just wanted to add in before I forget is the reason why I interpret Avery's response as sarcastic is also because of the way the mother can be at times, Stevie Howard. Whether Stevie Howard can be sarcastic because that's just how they naturally are, or if they're pissed off with someone, annoyed, frustrated in the moment, I get that. And, sometimes people's behaviour, attitude, personality, it can be passed on down to the children. And the environment they're in, what they learn, what's acceptable, what's not, what's right, what's wrong, how one talks, certain lines, slang, language, wording, etc. Just like if there was a child that was somehow raised by wolves or chickens, that studies have been done, found that a person who was homeless ended up barking like a dog or walking on all fours because of, being in the environment of animals and learning from them, just like how you learn from humans. It all makes sense. Nature versus nurture. A lot of nurture going on, environmental influences and people. You could apply the environmental influences with those, in this case, family are family, friends are friends and whatnot in between, just to see if there's any unnatural impacts going on. But that aside, to refer back to a particular event, and this is like a past, study or more focus what people were getting at, and it's faded away since. Has it faded away because people have given up on the idea, or it was debunked? You can leave your thoughts down below. But if at any point Noah Presgrove did walk into one of the bedrooms, why would Noah be walking into the bedroom in the first place? Because he wanted something? He wanted to sleep in the girl's room at that certain time? Who knows? And was there anyone around that would have heard or seen any kind of commotions going on, I wonder? See, whilst this is to do with girl trouble in a way, or relationship trouble, where there might be a breakdown in communication, or things could be quite tense, applying to Noah, who is his own individual, who may have walked in on someone, like the birthday girl, with Caleb, even though there is no hard evidence of that taking place. We've not seen any full-on evidence to prove it. It's just a theory idea at this point in time. Is it exactly a good one? Well, the act of people getting dodgy at a party, it can happen. And, if you have the correct age and onwards, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. But if there is a level of cheating, that is a problem in its own right in the background. But if Noah Presgrove was forced into silence in some way, would that justify or link on to the motive of how and why Noah ended up dead? Well, it'd be reinforced with a murder outcome and foul play too, with the body being moved. But still, do we have enough hard evidence to say Noah was murdered and that there was foul play and that Noah's body was moved? Me just saying that is going to trigger people, but I've got to be balanced. And if people don't like it, well, there's nothing much I can do. Of course, there is a sense of foul play, and there'll be certain factors which I need to lock in with or hope that there are updates for, like with the white shorts. That's very important, in my opinion. It might not be for other people. If there can be an update with that, and I can try and internalize it more, it could really help with my, ideas of, what possibly could have happened to Noah. Because like with one event or one outcome could end up linking on to the cause of death, or the cause of death could link on to the time of death. It kind of changes in between, links on with one another. And whilst we're focusing all on that, which is its own thing, very heavy and important, to refer back to this theory and idea, if Noah Presgrove had seen something he wasn't supposed to and he wasn't going to keep quiet, someone was threatening to kill him, take him out, so really, would people go to that great length just to secure a secret like that? Going to the length of killing someone? It just seems a bit too far-fetched in a way. If you were paid or bribed to keep quiet, that'd make sense. And if certain people supposed to have deep pockets, it wouldn't be an issue there. But, that aside, the other concept is, and it was mentioned in a conversation between Alicia Lee and Justin Roy in that text conversation, which was revealed in recent time. One of the two mentioned about how Noah Presgrove got into an argument with Jack Newton, and Jack Newton, he ended up flirting behind the back of Noah with Noah's girlfriend. Now, which girlfriend was that at the time? Was it Fallon, or was it Nevaeh? And I know people by now should say, or would say, come on, it's easy. It's Fallon. Is it really? Because just recently I saw some counterpoints by other people claiming it wasn't Fallon. It was another girl, a previous girl, an ex-girlfriend of Noah at the time. You get what I'm saying? If you used to regard to Fallon, they're an ex of Noah because no longer together, because obviously Noah's no longer here. But what other people were saying was, at the time of the party, when Noah was at it, Jack, either at the same time or before, who knows what day, was flirting with one of Noah's ex-girlfriends at the time. If that's really true, it's just yet another spanner thrown into the works. If it's true, why on earth would Noah Presgrove get mad at Jack and yell at him? If it was true, Noah would have no reason or right to do that. If you're not with that person anymore, they can do whatever the hell they like. And in a way, that can apply to Jack too. Of course, Jack at the time with Carter Combs, and if Jack was flirting or seeing anyone else at the time, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? But why should it concern Noah Presgrove of all people? Oh, maybe Noah Presgrove was disappointed in Jack. Best friends looking out for one another. No, don't be doing that. Don't be flirting with that person. It's not worth it. It's not good. Who you're with right now is good. They're a good person, Carter Combs. You need to stick with them. Keep it healthy. Don't mess that up. If there's like a little pep talk, a bit of encouragement, looking out, you could understand that. But from the way the argument was and the theme of it, girl trouble, and what Karen Pressey overheard and how Justin Roy worded it as well, that it was aggressive, there was pushing and shoving, and there would be no reason for Noah Presgrove to push or shove Jack or vice versa if it was to do with Jack flirting with one of Noah's ex-girlfriends at the time, and Noah shouldn't be frustrated either if he's seen somebody else. I'm basing it off what's come about in recent time. Of course, if that's untrue, and we just focus back in on Noah's girlfriend at the time, not at the party, but Jack was flirting with her somehow on some day, Noah has the right to be annoyed and frustrated, of course. And based off that concept, and Alicia and Justin in the background with their conversations, linking it together, that Noah was going to reveal it to Carter Combs, what Jack has been up to. If that worried or pissed Jack off, well then there would be a response maybe, but honestly, would Jack silence Noah Presgrove to that extent? Is that what Jasmine in that Facebook post was referring to? The comment about, you know, it's disgusting how someone like Jack can go to sleep or continue on eating, knowing what's happened to Noah, as if Jack is the one possibly responsible. You used to link 1 and 2 together. But then Avery jumps on in with a sarcastic response, such as, oh yeah, and on top of that, Jack and his father Caleb are seen us sleeping with us. It just sounds sarcastic, that part, so not exactly true. But, you know, you can understand if the communication and wording isn't clear enough, it can backfire. And even from the side that's getting attacked at the time, whether you're on the dark side, whether you're on the light side, even if you're the victim, unfortunately, when all the shit is being thrown your way, and it's annoying, it's hurtful, it's damaging, it's frustrating, the worst thing you can do is respond back in a sarcastic way or in a cryptic way or in such a way which it could lead to people interpreting it the wrong way. Whether that be you trying to defend yourself or retaliate back, you can dig yourself into a deeper hole and it makes the problem even worse. You got to use appropriate wording at times like that when you're under attack. You got to use a certain tone of voice as well. It's kind of like, there'll be times where you can respond back in a fun, light-hearted way to cut through the BS because it's so ridiculous. But then there will be exceptions and times where it's that bad, but you do have to respond back in a serious way, because if you do not do that, you're basically completing the self-fulfilling prophecy of what they label you as ridiculous as it may be. How you respond next, you could become that label, what they tried applying on you in the first place, and now they've succeeded, and you've let them win. There's a deep level of psychological warfare going on, but not everybody is prepared for it. And that's why people get too close to the fire and get burned, which is unfortunate. But that aside, if Noah Presgrove knew something about someone at the party, is it worth taking a life just to keep the secret? Interesting. Is there anything else to mention, by the way? As said, the highway itself is really 2 prominent places. The highway, the party house, and maybe the surrounding field, if used to tie in with if Noah had gone there at some point, or if Noah was taken there at some point, or the reference to teeth in the wheat field as what Sarah Long said. Not as in that's what happened, but giving like a scenario, but such a specific one that why would they mention it? There'd be no reason. So, yeah, the case slightly faded, but the focus very concentrated on Caden and Alicia at this moment in time. I just wanted to take a look at a different angle and perspective in the moment, and maybe clear up certain language and wording from the past, which other people may have interpreted as the absolute truth. See, if someone from the dark side was being sarcastic and said, yeah, we took Noah Presgrove out, genuinely, I'm sure there'll be people from the light side that will take it serious and actually believe it's true, just with those words and lines, and think, oh my God, we've hit the jackpot here. This explains it all now. Yeah, you've got to be careful when it comes to sarcastic language and sentences, because it can get a little bit misleading and confusing at times, just like the theories and ideas and opinions which are worded by others as facts and true events, which is damaging. That aside, I think it's worth just looking at some comments now from my previous video. I will just get to the newest, and there we go. And I'm going to start from the bottom, work our way up, and acknowledge who's present. First of all, we got member guest. They say, thank you so much for your continued hard work and coverage, Raf. So I appreciate that. Shout out to member guest, good individual. Of course, we've got Sharon as well. Shout out to Sharon, of course. I need to mention a few things about Sharon shortly, so stick around. What else do we have? We've got Michelle. Thank you, Ref, for keeping the discussions, information flowing. You're appreciated. That's good to know. You're welcome. Ooh, Sharon, aware. There we go. Tammy, thanks, Ref, for covering Noah's case. You're welcome. See, do you know why it's important to acknowledge this? Because, first of all, the positive comments, for the most part of it, by good individuals, it's just yet another layer, another element of highlighting and using this, which can overshadow the darkness, not any side, but just the darkness in general, which is a good thing. And it's all natural as well. We got Suzanne, excellent video, Ref. Yeah, I saw the emoji as well, the boom, 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 nail it on the head or something. I forgot what the saying was, but a big shout out to Suzanne, of course. We got Melanie saying, I got cut off in the live. I couldn't find my way back, so I'm watching it here. I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye to anybody. No worries. Oh, Sharon as well. So, yeah, just as a heads up, Melanie, when it comes to my live premieres, when they have ended, the chat does save. It might take some time for it to pop back up, but it does save. But there is a time period of where conversations are not saved. And that's when the live premiere ends, but the live chat is still active. I don't know why it does that, but the live chat will remain active for maybe a few more minutes, and then it stops. But those few minutes of the live chat being present whilst the video's ended, that part does not save. Just as a heads up. Teresa. Now, I'm sure Teresa has been commenting elsewhere on another YouTube channel from what I'm aware of. So, interesting. When you see how these fake friends of Noah act on chat, you can see what he had to deal with being around fake friends. Well, first of all, Teresa, do we have proof and evidence that Noah's friends are actually in my chat watching? Because the only friend that I've seen present in the chat who's friends with Noah, more so, Caden Pressey. So your comment, Teresa, in general, talking about Noah and his fake friends, kind of indirectly applies that to Caden being a fake friend as well. See, we've got to be careful with language and wording, of course, right? And to deal with being around fake friends, not seeing that shit starting games between people and lies, sociopaths, and criminals' favourite words to cops, or oh, they left, or oh, they never showed up. If I can see through their BS, I know seasoned investigators and feds can. I've seen much tougher, smarter people. There's no reason why this case can't be solved unless someone in law enforcement don't want it solved. Give case to FBI, profiler John Kelly to take a second look. Why wouldn't you? Enough people experts said not a hit and run. Caden did not leave his own shoe on a body being dumped. I don't think anyone's ever really applied Caden to putting the shoe or leaving the shoe on Noah in the first place. So I don't know where that's come from all of a sudden. The only thing I mentioned was there a possibility that if during foul play taking place, did they use Caden Pressey's shoe in a hope of diverting attention to Caden instead? But to be honest, it didn't seem to do much because people didn't really want much to do with Caden at the early stages when Caden wanted to cooperate. What else do we have here? Faz, on the chat, I got attacked for saying that Noah's friends are so-called friends. It definitely wasn't a hit and run in my opinion. It was a fall from Jack's four-wheeler. There was underage drinking at the party. Noah died on that property. None of his friends or the adults at the party want to come forwards because they don't give a rat ass about Noah. They only care for themselves. Jack Newton's father knows Caleb, one of the LE officers. Is that true? In my opinion, he is helping to cover this up. That's why there isn't any persons of interest from the party. The ones that believe that none of Noah's friends guilty is a fool. I've been following this case for over a year now, and I know a lot of information from Warlight Raf that has put on his videos that points to them. Noah isn't going to get justice because of selfish friends that don't care about Noah. Justice is coming. I've seen a few cases that thought the same thing. It took them 5 years, though. Justice for Noah Page. People all should petition the feds to investigate corruption conspiracy. See, the Dylan Rounds case went on for like 3 to 4 years, but it was in 2023. Okay. Well, no, it wasn't 4 years. It was like 2 to 3 years, I should actually say. Silly. But that still dragged out a bit. But in terms of getting the charges in and finding someone who is responsible, that still took time, but maybe quicker than this particular case. But there was more people pushing in the background for that and family publicly, more vocally. As for this case, you don't see that surface level, but there could be stuff going on in the background. Sonny says, wow, never let that stop you, Raf. You have plenty of followers that enjoy your content. Appreciate that. That's good to know. And shout out to Sonny Daz for their support on my channel. It's good of them. Shout out to Joyce Burgow or somebody else in recent time for their comments here and there. It's been helpful. And also shout out to Twilight or Twinkling Star for their support. Can't forget that. And I think another person as well last night for the super stickers or super chats. And shout out to Popski as well. Just wanted to throw that in before I forgot. Okay. Now we've got Jen saying, just my opinion, but why has this discussion been about you? Not to sound mean. Okay, so this comment has been edited since. But come on. That's absurd. You're the one that keeps having a voice for everyone, both sides. I guess if that's what they want to say, I'll continue to watch your videos and keep my thoughts and theories to myself. So, appreciate that, Jen. I just want to give a heads up before people see my response, because people will think my response is quite harsh towards Jen. But the thing is, Jen has edited her comment since, which is more understanding now compared to what it was like beforehand. That's why I ended up responding the way I did. The moment impetuous humans start attacking me for simply covering the case, I will always defend myself, or at least try to, when there is a need to. Because I've also got to protect my channel. Yes, a particular case like Noah is important, just like any other case. But you know what else is important? My channel, the health of it, and myself. So I've got to try and keep care of that as well and think of the bigger picture. Because along the way, if a single case or community can be that damaging or dangerous that it has a negative impact on you and your channel, it can then have a negative impact on all the other cases that I may have covered previously. We don't want a domino effect. So got to be careful at times. Jen says, as you should. And here we go. Kathy Power. You make a good point. I initially thought the stream was focused on seeking justice for Noah, but it often seems to revolve around how perfect Warlight Raf perceives himself. So, at what point, Kathy Power, have I said that I myself am absolutely perfect? I've not once said that. And in terms of in a serious way, I have not said that. Kathy Power, you lack power in understanding, and that is just a simple, valid, overt, non-participant observation, okay? You said, I initially thought the stream, the video that you're commenting on now, you thought it was all about justice for Noah Presgrove. How about Kathy Power, you look back at the title of my video and reevaluate your outlook? Because the title of the video was along the lines of, she has no right to talk, the person that was attacking me at the time. I defended myself and did what was necessary and gave context and backstory, making it as clear as possible so there was no misunderstandings. And then later on in the video, I made a very direct, important comparison with what Pam, the pram, has been saying other times in regards to Alicia in the background and calling Alicia Pam, calling Alicia a beep. Okay? So it was to put it into perspective and to highlight the importance behind it all. There was a lot of meaning, there was a lot of symbolism behind the video, but Kathy Power, you failed to understand it. You've got a tunnel vision mindset and saw it a certain way, which just so happened to be incorrect. But Kathy does say, oh, I know it's all under control, you impetuous twat. See, I can see into the future too. I know what you're going to say before you say it. Well, that's great to know, of course. See, for you to call me a twat doesn't really mean much, but maybe the odd other person out there that may call me a twat, yeah, I don't mind that. But, interesting. But, you know, Kathy, you still failed to understand the video, the title of it, the context, the meaning. You can try and, I don't know, boost yourself up and say that you can see into the future. Well, let's hope that your future is brighter than what it is now because, you know, the lights are on, still a little bit dim, no one's home. Okay? Moving forwards. Jen, that's not what I was saying. That's your opinion, and that's okay. I was just stating that he is still bringing awareness to the case from all different sides, and I don't get that from him at all if you're referring to Warlike Raph being a twat. Seems some people want to drag him into some kind of drama and some people are forgetting the focus of the case, but he hasn't and still makes videos every day. There we go. Good reasoning ability from Jen. Appreciate that. Luana Cook, Raph, just consider the sources of negative stuff and personal attacks. Yeah, so the personal attacks tend to be from people from the light side and not the dark side, which is a bit worrying in a way. Okay, so at least we get to tick it off the list now. My bingo card is nearly full. Number 1, I'm now a twat. Yes, come on. What's going to be said next? I'm going to use the C word. Ooh, better not do. That's a bit naughty. We've got Glenn. Big shout out to Glenn. This individual, Hendley. The first time I found your channel was the Dylan Rounds case. We lived near where he went missing. You did a good job on that as well. Appreciate that. That's good to know. And it's good that Hendley has been around since. That's all good, of course. And it is important as well, when you get viewers that stick around and people that have been from the past on previous cases, which I've covered, it kind of like serves as like witnesses, you know, genuine witness accounts of what they saw at the time when it came to me reporting on cases, when it came to me being under attack and how I dealt and responded to it. Witnesses can go a long way and help down the line in other cases. Carl, hey, hope I can ask you a question off topic on Dylan Round's case. I like Warlike Raph, but I was really late to the case, so I missed a lot. Confused about the video of the suspect Brenner cleaning up the gun and having blood on his hands or arms. How could Brenner have Dylan's phone and have it taken? Right, okay, Carl, I'll explain it as best as I can right now, or, you know, I'll try to. So, in terms of when Dylan woke up in the morning, which was Saturday the 28th of May 2022, the timing of it was around 5:53 in the morning when Dylan had made it down to the Grainshed property near to the gate, made a call to Brenner to say, I'm coming on down, just to not alert him too much or worry him, just in case he got a bit too snappy or defensive, you know, being woken up disturbed like that. Well, actually, no. Let me just rephrase that. That was at 6:58. At 5:58. At 5:53, that's when Dylan called what did he call? Do you know what? Fuck this show. You see, that is why I do not go switching back and forth with cases. It takes time to sink in with it. Grandmother Karen Rounds, I believe. Karen Rounds, the grandmother to Dylan, and at 5:53, Dylan made a call to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to park the grain truck in the grain shed, and then afterwards I'm going to leave the place and either come on down to you or elsewhere. I'll respond back afterwards once I've got it all done, but he never responded back, hence why it sparked worry and concern. At 5:58, Dylan making the call to Brenna down at the property to say he's coming on down. No response. Did Brenna be asleep or ignore it? Who knows? Dylan coming on down. Next phone ping was at 6:03 in the morning. And then the next one, which was a timestamp from Dylan's phone, a video, accidental recording by Brenna being clumsy with Dylan's phone, inside of Brenna's trailer. And, you know, that was at roughly 6:27 a.m. So basically, roughly round it up, within a 30-minute time of Dylan making it down to the grain shed, that's when Dylan died, shot multiple times in the head. Brenna got a hold of the phone inside of his trailer, accidental recording triggered, time lapse, and showed him, blood on him, washing his hands, and a gun. So that explains that part. And this is all based off phone pings and video footage that was retrieved from Dylan's phone despite being dumped in the pond. So, you know, forensic dive done, it was successful, and it was really important, that turning point in the case. George Chodum. So there you have it. Justin Roy was non-stop mentioning George and Alicia's Dropbox. For example, George 110% hacked and or shared and or whatever. But it turns out thousands of people, including OHP, knew that wasn't the case whatsoever. Justin Roy in the comment of 6. Best get their notes synced with each other going forwards. Time for some public apologies. Twinkling Twilight. Who the heck is the Coven of 6? George. Just a bunch of nervous Nellies, including some felons, failed LE, wannabes, old golfers, people into decomp sheets, and some local parking lot groupies into recording anything, everything, who all bounded online and became friends without actually meeting one another. But as the old saying goes, don't trust anyone you've never met nor boinked. Wait, boinked? What, as in had sexual encounters with? I don't know, to be honest. Okay. Don't trust anyone you've never met. See, this is the thing. The difference with me, my role, and my area compared to other people out there, such as online, I myself make it a lot easier for everybody else, but it's not the same vice versa, and that's understandable. Because I'm a content creator, and because I make videos, naturally, I put myself out there more, which can lead to higher chances of being attacked, questioned, and dodgy stuff going on. It is what it is. If I put myself out there, the good comes with the bad. And in terms of putting myself out there, I show my face, what I look like naturally, no filters, no makeup, no BS like that. I show my normal voice, no filters there, no adjustments, no enhancements. You see my facial expressions, what it will tend to look like most of the time, limited energy whatsoever, all understandable. So, you know, people can learn that way what I look like, what I sound like, the body shape as well, my age, bits and bobs like that, which could be helpful towards other people and their learning and whatnot about me. But then, of course, when it comes to me, maybe learning about someone else, it's never that easy. It takes time, and just in general, it can be a guessing game. Yeah, you might see a profile picture. How natural is it? How real is it? You might see a name. Is it really their name, or is it an alternative or a fake one? But other people won't show themselves the same way I do. Other people won't make it as easy as I do, because people are here just to watch, keep to themselves, and that's pretty much it. It's understandable. If you had another content creator, though, like Beauty Guru Mo, okay, getting all over the place, moving on up on all different platforms, a different situation. They're a content creator as well. And with what they engage with, like with the makeup aspect, applying it before and after the transformation, shortened but in a high quality edited format, they're going to obviously show their face and maybe sometimes present their voice. But in terms of their username or their real name, try and keep that separate out of respect for their own privacy and I guess like brand as well. See, it's understandable. It is. But I can see it holistically at the end of the day. So let's click that off. John Doe. So has John Doe changed his mindset since towards me? I wonder. I don't personally love all of the content that you make on his case. Okay then, there we go. That's more of a me problem. Fair enough. Yeah, I've heard that line. It's more of a me problem than a you problem. It's more me than you. But I can't remember where it was mentioned that. I definitely remember that line being used by someone previously. And I don't mean on YouTube. I just remember it being said at some point. Anyway, never mind. John Doe. Sometimes people bicker and some of the content makes me want to pull my hair out and scream at the screen to say that you are definitely heading down an interesting road, but we took a detour. Well, at the end of the day, I don't believe that there are that many people who have put in as much time, energy, research, investigating, digging, poking, prodding. That includes locals. Unfortunately, a lot of people who kiss ass to the major players in all of the groups don't understand or appreciate what you do. A lot of them don't like the fact that you are willing to look into or call out any and everybody from all three groups and both the dark and light. Yes. In my opinion, all three of the groups are about the same. They're all full of people with malicious intent. They all talk shit about each other whilst claiming that they're being slandered. The past several videos have caused a lot of panic and scrambling by a lot of the major players in these groups. At the same time, the minions or posses start a smear campaign about someone else in another group. Yeah, it has been messy in recent time. It's interesting to see John Doe and what they say here, displaying more reasoning ability now, which is a positive. In terms of the term posse, that's actually a warlike reference that I used in the past. And for anybody that enjoys my wording, add to the dictionary if you want. We've got the bitch boy posse gang, which can consist of a group of individuals who whinge and whine and get about. Does that apply here? Well, no, but it's something that I used in the past. It could be something that I could use again in the future, if there's ever a time. Rebecca Bailey. War, I'm so behind, I failed class. See you when I catch up with all the videos. That's okay, Rebecca. You take your time. You do what you can. It's good that you're watching the videos. But I did hear you mention, Rebecca, that you failed class. And as you know, whenever a person fails class, it means they're given detention. Has anyone else been misbehaving recently? Has anyone else failed to do their homework and give it in the next day? Sharon, where are you? No lollipops in the classroom. Don't care if they're strawberry flavoured. Put it away now. And don't look at me like that. Okay? So, moving on. I need to watch this video, but there's old ones I haven't watched, but I need to watch this. Well, hopefully you enjoy it and understand. Oh, there we go. Beauty Guru Moo is here. But is she really here? Is she really in the chat? Or too busy eating popcorn? Anyway, let's just see what she says. Beauty says, I personally think you cover Noah's story better than anyone. You keep it real, unbiased, and stick to the facts and proof. I really love how you make sure you say in theory or apparently, but that's just hearsay. And so many more points on where you clearly state what's proof and what's hearsay and rumours. How you break down everything in each video to really get the full picture is golden. We need that. Discussion needs to keep happening or this case will go cold. Appreciate you. Don't let anyone silence you. You also make sure at the end of every video to say you are shifting from the case onto something else. You are very smart. You know what you're doing. You can't please everyone. Sadly, love. So that's obviously very good of what Beauty Gurumo has said. So appreciate that. And speaking of which, transitioning on to other stuff, that's exactly what we'll be doing later, homegirl, to a small extent. Not as full on as the previous one, whatever one I did. A bit more energy then. Carl, hey beauty, you have the words of wisdom and important insights to Warlike Raph's inner brain, neural pathways. Everything is 100% correct and under control. Whoa, wait, hold on. Wait, there's another individual that has insight into my brain. Whoa. Who else has insight into my brain? Strawberry, I couldn't agree more. And then, of course, we've got Popsky. He does it well, and he's dreamy. What does that mean? He's the best. That's good. Seen you in chat. You seem like a good person, Sharon. The community keeps getting better. Remember my first interaction with the community? Sharon said hi, and that's why I always put a rose after I address it in the comments. And Popsky says, oh, you go, girl. Whoa, there we go. Okay, interesting. Carl to John Doe. I agree with you 100%. I mean, the direct insults and accusations are crazy. I grew up a diplomatic kid and toured the world whilst growing up. We had to represent the USA, and it meant being polite, respectful, and believing in the host country's leadership as good intentioned here. It's like, I don't agree with you, so you're a freaking liar, pedophile, sexual, deviant, corrupt, Ellie, etc. Why can't we be like Warlike Raph and say maybe or possibly something is a certain way and not come across like you're a know-it-all? Yeah, fair enough. Popsky, hi Carl, just wanted to take a minute to say hope is all good. Skippy, Carl, well said. There are better ways to disagree and not to get into the mudsling. When someone starts with insults, it's best to let them sink in their own insult-ridden stupidity for all to see and take the high road whilst disagreeing with them. Sounds like you had quite an interesting childhood. There we go. Popsky, great video, brother. Hi, Sharon. Long time been playing up vids. Whatever that means. There we go. Nana Bentley, thanks for the ongoing coverage, Raph. It's rich what some people think they can dictate how you run your own channel, especially since it's been established long before Noah's case. As like a childless person presuming to advise a seasoned parent on how to raise their kid just doesn't fly. Yeah. Pam and Jan have frankly become sideshows in the groups along with many others, and hardly anyone takes them seriously. Keep up the fantastic work, Raph. Your platform is valued and appreciated. So that's very good of what Nana Bentley has said. So shout out to her. That's all good. In terms of Jan Fiorillo, not too sure what's going on there, but I've not been attacked. I've not had any issues with Jan Fiorillo, only Pam at this moment in time. And for others that didn't understand or watch my previous video, basically Petty Pam has thrown her toys out the pram. Okay? Sunny, I'm glad I don't make YouTube videos. It's a shame we can't just get along, but that's real life too. And thank you, Raph. Even though you have to deal with a lot of negative comments, you keep pushing. Appreciate that, will do. And last but not least, Henley, I keep trying to donate through PayPal and it keeps telling me error. This person is not available. Please try again later or something to that tune. You don't happen to have a Venmo account to receive funds? No, I don't. I only stick with PayPal. Maybe some other time I could try and see if I can refer back to a previous PayPal link to see if maybe there's a slight error on one of the links. See if that works. You might have to use... What's going on here? Right. Popsky, if you're trying to put your details in automatically after the first infill box, always need to go back to enter your 3-digit VPN. Personally, I've donated to YouTube, but I find PayPal after entering the amount you want it then all the way to the bottom of the screen, and then, okay, as you can see, I'm new to donors. Yeah, so shout out to Popsky. The link is in his... I just trying to... And YouTube doesn't take such a big cut. Okay, well, I'll try and find a link or something if it works better at some point, or send like a direct one. I don't know if so it's not working in the background, but who knows? You know, YouTube or certain platforms can be a bit dodgy from time to time. Up to now, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting in regards to it being a bit of a bulk one, but key areas and topics and themes of today, the main part being at the start, and if you joined late to the live premiere, you can always rewind back to the beginning. With that being said, just like on the sideline, just to, you know, when giving shout outs here and there, even for example, shout out to Sharon, who tends to be around quite often in the chat or the comment section. And that's just for simply being positive. And even if it comes naturally with them, at the end of the day, they don't have to be that way, but they choose to. And obviously it does help with the health of the channel. And even it might help other people out there that are watching along and then at times having to deal with being attacked by other people, or just having to deal with the busy chat at times from other people going back and forth with one another. See, the reality is there was actually a time where Sharon was attacked in the chat, and it just seemed a little bit unnecessary because, you know, at the time things happened, and recently things happened, but more so towards me. So I just want to put it into a bit of a perspective, you know, that circle, that cycle, that one person can be attacked or questioned, labeled this and that. And I do remember it all. Don't you fucking worry. I do remember it all. And I do remember those references, terms and insults directed towards the odd person here and there. But I'm not going to be mentioning those exact examples because it might have a negative effect on somebody. But besides that, there was a time then when Sharon was attacked, questioned, negativity thrown her way just for simply being a positive person and a bit playful at times. And then, more so in recent time, how I've been attacked too because of my dodginess, even though there is a meaning behind it and there's more reference. See, at the end of the day, someone like Sharon won't be able to defend themselves the same way as like with me, in fairness. And I'm just keeping this brief because it's probably not too necessary, but it's just to explain the power dynamics that when you've got a creator that has their own channel on a platform and an audience as well, some people may look up to that channel owner, so people will listen and take it in. But when you've got your own channel, you can make your own videos, you can talk, you can address stuff, you can put it out there and explain and do whatever you need to do. But if you're just a viewer, you don't have the same tools, you don't have the same power, and you might not even want to or be asked in responding back to resistance or certain stuff. I get that, but it just goes to show how much harder it is for viewers when they're attacked compared to someone like me. But then again, in fairness, I can have it worse than other people at other times because I'm more of a marked target, because I also put myself out there more. So there's pros and cons in different situations with different people. But despite it all, even when the likes, because, you know, in fairness, this is the difference between someone like me and Sharon, and this is just being balanced, okay? When I am attacked or questioned, I may respond back at times in an overkill way. It is what it is. Sometimes it needs to be done. And then other times I'll respond back in a very formal or critical way. I still try and use reasoning ability, of course, but the way I respond back could be sharper, okay, when I've been attacked or questioned. What makes Sharon a good example of a person, and possibly a better person in a way, is that even when she is attacked, she still responds back with a level of positivity. Even when it's not, you know, when other people on the receiving end aren't deserving of it, Sharon will still show that like positive side, which obviously makes them a good person. But, you know, for people to be forced into a situation at a point where they've got to apologise or anything like that, it shouldn't happen. It's not right. You know, in terms of the theme of apologies as well, you know, I remember back in 2022, the way other people back then, the way they attacked and what they said, and never apologised. You know why? Because the power dynamics were, right, it was all on them that they messed up. Other times I saw people apologise amongst one another because it was a 50-50, they've both done something wrong. You can see how it goes. And yet, in this particular situation, this particular case, like when it came to Sharon being a very positive, good person, causing no trouble, no harm, considering when you put it into perspective with, you know, how other people may have acted at times, whether it be some kind of drama, whether it be some kind of conflict or any attacks in the background and the way people go after one another, certain language and terms used then, oh, that's all okay. But the moment someone acting a bit dodgy, oh, very bad, naughty, naughty, naughty. Yeah, it's a little bit abstract and a bit distorted at times, but nevertheless, just shout out for Sharon. Just like I would say, shout out to Glenn. Okay, most people will probably not know who Glenn is, but a long-time viewer that has been watching for a very long time. Back in, what was it, 2022 with the Kenny Veach case and onwards, that's positive to see. A level of deep consistency. And based off that theme and pattern, shout out to Sharon for her deep consistency, not to do with watching, but just being a good person. Because as you can see, it seems to have a very big positive domino effect on other people. And ever since, people have shown that, so that's all good. So yeah, if anyone else wants to give a shout out to Sharon, feel free to do so in the chat. Now, moving on, what we need to transition onto now, transitioning onto something different, moving away from the Noah Presgrove case, making it as loud and clear as possible so no one can, critique there, is that when it comes to Beauty Guru Moo, okay, mooing away until the popcorn pops into the air. Oh my God, goodness gracious, eating too much, gotta share it out just a little bit. So obviously, to catch up with the makeup, with all of that, whilst it was mentioned briefly last night, obviously it sounds like some people are a little bit petty when it comes to Beauty Guru Moo's makeup. Describing the makeup as paint and then obviously impacting Beauty Guru Moo. Oh my goodness, that is not right. How dare people do that? See, obviously, when you start criticizing the makeup of Beauty Guru Moo, who knows how she will react? She'll probably end up painting your face or applying all kinds of makeup which may have expired because you're an expired bitch past the retail date. My goodness, so out of fashion. Get a grip of yourself, change your clothes and perspective right now, okay? But when it comes to me, you're going to bring out the bitch and more like Raph. Ooh, no, we're going to Karen like Raph. That's not good, is it? No, not with any petty people about. We've come across enough in the past. But besides makeup, obviously, whatever Beauty Guru Moo is using, it's working. And I don't mean all the time, I mean in the videos. Good quality, very good. I can't even think of any lines anymore because I think I've said everything already, haven't I? I said, yeah, holla at the rooftop, such a baddie with a fatty. That's not what I'm saying. That's what Beauty has said herself, which is great to see, but a little bit jelly right now because it's not quite working out for me. So I inquired about, is there some kind of workout? Is there some kind of routine that can be followed, to get there? Of course, some things are still pending because, I could ask Sharon, do you have any tips to have smooth skin, kind of like how you do? I'll have to wait for that. But in the meantime, there's been new important developments in terms of a new booty workout. Oh my God, I'm clapping and with my hands only. This is great news. So what did it consist of, though? Bouncing up and down, squatting like a frog, maybe. And maybe some additional exercises. Has it actually worked out though? So I've been following Beauty Guru Moo's booty workout for like 6 days and it's working just fine. See, the reality is Beauty Guru Moo only told me about it a day ago and I've been doing it for 6 days already. So how the hell does that work out? I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just a freak 9 days out of the week. Got to get priorities, get your fucking diary out. My goodness, you got so many blank dates not filled in and you're still busy. Oh my God, such a busy girl in such a confused world. What is going on? Obviously, when people are busy, that can be code word for other stuff. Yeah, I'm getting with it. I'm getting with all the language right now, understanding all the secrets behind it. So if I just move this aside, there was a time where I myself did measure up to some extent, but ever since it's just not been quite the same. And you could ask yourself, why is that? Well, if you remember, besides the lipstick, there was a time where I bumped my ass on the road and it led to a size increase. So has that happened again? Well, in some way it has, but I just don't know if it's going to show on screen. So Beauty Guru Moo, I need you to rate it out of 10, okay? How well does it look? Has it improved doing this new workout? Okay? I'm sure some people in the background will issue out conspiracies. Oh yeah, in this case, how could you be adding in a booty workout? That's so inappropriate. This is different stuff. Get real with it. I'll need to move over here because I can't fit in the camera angle. Okay? Does it actually show? Is there any difference? I think one's slipped slightly. I can't tell. So you can rate it out of 10. Does it look any different? I'm not too sure. God, the whole room just shook then, the whole floor. Oh well. So obviously really impressed, really pleased with how it's gone. I gotta stand on the rooftop and then see if it works. There we go. See, the last time when this happened, I sat down, I had balloons, and then the burst, okay? Oh, what's that? Oh, there's a back pocket. You know what that means? It means more money can be shoved in there. Yeah, fill the pockets. Why do I look like a fucking lap dancer right now? Jesus. Anyway, you know what the most funny part was? When I was doing that, then someone actually was outside with the lights on, so they actually saw me. Great. That's good to know. Really, really goodness gracious me. Okay? I can't get it to look any bigger. So there we go. Shout out to Beauty Gurumo. It's actually worked. It's a miracle. Okay? At the end of the day, I think we'll leave it there. Welcome to Dr. F's appointment. If anyone needs counseling or therapy sessions, well, you're in the right place. I think Tim Daniel mentioned something about Dr. F at a time of when I never mentioned it. So, Tim Daniel, the lights are on. I'll just put my gloves on in a second. What do you require? Feel free to leave a comment down below. For anyone else that has watched, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. Feel free to like, share the video, and I'll see you next time. My name's Warlike Raf. Goodbye. Good night for now.